So is that hand of his real? Did I ask that already? I might have asked that already.
I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Asman's introduction. He provided me with the blueprints and I constructed the machine to his precise specifications. It was no trick. If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin? All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and then crash headfirst into the crystal tower. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed somehow?
You scientist, you can't pass that on to... A body double? Yeah, also, why would you just randomly bring up the idea of a body double?
That goes without saying, surely. To give the impression that something has moved when in reality it hasn't. It's basic conjuring principle. The deception cannot be achieved without substituting the original with a fake at some point in the performance. But would I be right in saying you haven't managed to establish anything along those lines?
Incidentally, the prosecution has already confirmed that Mr. Asman had no twin siblings. It's my understanding that this witness is well versed in conjuring artfulness. But such tales do not indicate that he was actually able to accomplish what he claims. Namely, the construction of what? I mean, what? Oh, I completely fucked up. By all accounts, it must have been an extremely complex scientific machine. Did I fuck up? I don't know.
Whatever do you mean?
Yesterday's proceedings brought the true nature of your past exploits to light, Mr. Rubber. Indeed it did, my lord. As a swindler, who preys on innocent scientists to elicit government grants money through conjuring know-how.
Yes, it's true I possess considerable knowledge of stage magic. But crucially, my scientific knowledge more than matches that of any academic in the field.
Investigation of the witnesses' workshops attest to that claim, my lord. It's a little itty-bitty back massage trophy. As evidence, the police found this Royal Society trophy for young talent in science there. It's young science. That's probably like from when he was in elementary school. Yes, that's true. We spotted it there ourselves.
If a hypothesis is sound, it can always be forged into a physical manifestation, with sufficient skill. Though I may have sold the secrets of some deceptive wiles to sniveling talented scientists in the past.
Would you therefore assert that the explosion of the machine was
an unfortunate accident, or, of course, a deliberate act of murder carried out by misuse of the science?
What? What was the implications there? Counsel for the defense. Your cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord. I don't even know what to do. What is the contradiction here? I wasn't even like really fully paying attention. I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Asman's introduction. So you're already acquainted with Mr. Asman himself?
Not really. By chance, I'd seen his name mentioned in the papers, that's all. But I had no interest in his private affairs. If he was an unscrupulous investor, it was no concern of mine. As long as people pay their bills, I take up my tools and construct what they ask for.
So why did Mr. Asman approach you in particular then?
Who can say? I presume because my name is associated with excellence in engineering.
Not to mention excellence in fraud.
Hard to gauge, but the point is, all I did was construct the machine according to the blueprint I was given.
In other words, the kinesis machine was built on solid scientific principles.
Yes, you might say that. Professor Hairbrain certainly has a mind like no other.
Yeah, mind of a nerd. Finally, with the blueprint and I constructed the machine to its precise, it was no trick. It's clear that you have both scientific knowledge and knowledge of conjuring magic, however.
The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to handle whatever comes along. But your implications is, That I furnished the machine with some trickery, I think.
It's a possibility that we have to explore.
Unfortunately, though, the machine has been blown to Kingdom Come. So there's really nothing left to explore, is there?
The hole! The hole! It appears that the kinesis machine was fitted with a timed explosive device of some kind.
And there's nothing left of that device either. Not a single shred of evidence remaining, I hear.
He must have planned all this from the outset.
But in any case, it's abundantly clear that the experiment couldn't have been a trick.
If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me that the victim not good. Of course! That's it! Mr. Asman was a twin! Okay. Perhaps my learned friend wasn't listening earlier. Mr. Asman had no twin siblings. What if he had a twin lover? No, I heard you before. But the thread of hope hadn't quite left me. Shut up. The demonstration could have been a trick if there was somebody who looked sufficiently like the victim. But Dr. Sith absolutely ruled that out as a possibility. You can't trust what that lady is saying. She was probably married to Asman or paid off by Asman or is Asman's mother or something. Maybe not mother. It is beyond question that the victim himself, Mr. Asman, did move from the stage to the Crystal Tower. The fingerprints found at the scene attest to the fact. So it can't have been orchestrated using someone who looked identical to Mr. Asman, then. He cut off his hand! I don't know. Before we continue on, I wanted to see... She's only 26?! She's very young for a master of whatever. Oh my god, the Bohemian boy! He doesn't even have a name! She's 39 years old and he's 35. She's older than him? What has life done to you, Enoch? Jesus. Wait. One of Lord Strong... I feel like she's gonna play a part in, like, the last case in this game. Must be, because she's related to, like, Lord Strongheart in some way. Maybe she isn't involved. I don't fucking know. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, no. Nothing. I don't even remember what she said. Just the idea of someone who looked identical to the victim is playing on my mind. Hmm? Like, there's a wax body or something? All the saw the birdcage above the bed. It crashed head first, you say?
According to the many witness reports from those there at the time, yes.
Were you not there at the exhibition grounds on that day? Oh yeah, the crossbow.
Unlikely. I rarely leave my workshop.
And yet, another one of your unique inventions was found at the scene.
Well, it was the unveiling of a machine I'd labored over for many months. I saw it clearly with my own eyes. The birdcage plummeting headfirst into the tower.
You just said you were at your workshop and now you're saying you weren't? Make up your mind! Liar, liar. What a surprise.
I believe the victim's neck was broken from the headlong fall, wasn't it?
How would you have come by that information?
Even an infernal recluse like me reads the newspapers, you know. According to the reports, 2 injuries were apparent on the victim's body.
Yes, he'd been stabbed in the chest by a screwdriver believed to belong to the defendant. And he had broken vertebrae as a result of fall from a considerable height. Correct. My learned friend has been doing his research, it seems. Wow, thank you. Do we know which injury was the fatal one? Sadly not. Forensic science is not yet at a level where such things can be determined. Sure. What we do know is that the victim died having sustained both injuries at some point during the experiment. And since he was found in the birdcage with his neck broken.
It's obvious that he fell from a considerable height.
I suppose that's hard to deny. Right, I think the theory was that he was he was inside a green hot air balloon, and that he used a crossbow to shoot at the balloon, like a fire arrow or something, to shoot at the balloon to make it explode, and then the body dropped from the balloon. Terrible accident, I grant you, perhaps the science and the blah 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 blah. Ooh, how do we do this? Okay. So you understood the science, did you?
Not in the slightest.
Aren't you a science man? Oh, right. What?
As I've said a number of times, I am an engineer. My job is to manufacture according to the blueprints I'm given.
I thought your trophy was for science. Where's that little stupid trophy of yours? For excellence in science. For a young scientist. Is it not yours then?
I would be inviting manifold problems if I foolishly allowed my brain to digest the ideas behind them.
But you're a scientist.
I could be accused of stealing those ideas, for example.
But how is it possible to construct a machine without really understanding the principles it relies on?
Well, you're practicing law without really understanding the principle it relies on, aren't you?
Yeah, but you're not fucking concocting a goddamn machine to make it run. There's no machinery involved. A very good point. Stand up for yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. The point is, the experiment resulted in instantaneous kinesis taking place. As such, the science must be sound.
Yes, and really, experimental results are all that matters when it comes to providing or proving a hypothesis.
He's certainly very sure of himself. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now that the machine has been completely destroyed by yesterday's explosion, it's going to be impossible to argue its authenticity one way or the other. But if we're unable to establish that it was a piece of staged trickery rather than genuine science, we'll have no grounds on which to demonstrate Professor Harebrind's innocence. Both Mr. Asman and this man in the stand tricked the professor and used him. They took advantage of his naivety and his unbending belief in his work, and I won't let them get away with it. And seeing as the professor is an old friend of Lord Van Ziek's, what on earth must he be feeling towards Trevor? He grown. He can control his emotions. So what am I doing here? Not that. Not that. What's the contradictions here? What do we have here? We have... Is the idea that this is a hollow base? Like, this part here is like nothing... There's nothing here? Because then there would... What's the explanation as to why there'd be a drop in here if it wasn't for the fact that it was a trick, right? Unless it falls into this part here. This magnifying glass magnifies way too far in. I have no other way to point otherwise. I wonder if it has to do with either that, although that wouldn't be a contradiction to what we're on right now. Will the birdcage appear in their heads and crash head first? The twin part? Would presenting the head be anything? No. I know he questioned something about, like, the whole twin thing. Saying, like, could he have not have something or other? I already forget the words. Is it... What about this? Is it something to do with the whole hole in the ground? Nope. Oh, I forgot we had this. You know what? Didn't they say that he crashed head first? If he crashed head first, why is the bottom part of this damaged? Shouldn't it... He would have crashed feet first, no? Oh wait, is that the contradiction? Oh, why don't I just point out contradictions without even like thinking about presenting the contradiction? I'm stupid. We've examined the birdcage that crashed into the crystal tower ourselves. As you can see, the cage, which is a wooden construction, has sustained damage in one particular spot. Following the explosion, it fell some 30 feet into the glass of Crystal Tower. That level of damage is to be expected, surely. I agree. The damage itself is entirely understandable. What doesn't make sense is the location of that damage. All the breakages in the wood are at the base of the birdcage, not the top.
What are you saying?
That's the opposite of where they should be. That's right, my lord. The birdcage that was at the scene is damaged at its base. So we have reports of the birdcage falling headlong into the crystal tower, yet the damage is at the bottom. The only way to reconcile these two facts is to accept that there were two bird cages in play that day, which were at some point switched. Switched during what wasn't a scientific experiment at all, but an elaborate piece of stage trickery. It always throws me. It keeps throwing me off that some of his letters and the things that he's saying are like orange. And I thought maybe there's a reason to it, but the whole Gao part had no reason for that. Why is he doing that?
Good gracious, explain yourself, witness.
Well.
If we examine the facts, there's only one logical conclusion we can draw. The damages on the base of the birdcage clearly indicates that it crashed tail first into the tower. But multiple witnesses' reports claimed it fell head first. The birdcage materialized in the sky next to a balloon flying over the stage, following a spontaneous explosion, at an altitude of some 60 feet above ground level, which is approximately 18 meters. Thanks. It then proceeded to fall some 30 feet into the crystal tower and ensuing deflagration, whatever that word is. Witness reports amid such chaos are notoriously unreliable. But the victim's neck was broken. He plummeted 30 feet inside a heavy wooden cage. However he fell, it would be unsurprising to find one or two of his vertebrae crushed. What? What?
A riveting scientific analysis of events from the prosecution there. Though to be even more rigorous, you would have to say it was only one vertebrae, actually.
What? He wasn't quiet for long. What? Are you... I find it hard to see what's motivating Lord Van Zieks. This witness is clearly a swindler, and one who deceives a personal friend of his. He has to do his job. Let him be. If you're going to establish this deception, do it right. Sorry? I feel that's the undertone here. Yeah, we gotta find the truth. We can't be getting favors thrown at us.
Yes. There is one more point the defense appears to have forgotten. It obviously wasn't a trick, as a certain truth very plainly demonstrates.
What?
It seems to me that the cross-examination had better continue until we resolve this matter. Mr. Drebber, you will amend your testimony with details of this truth.
Of course, we must treat the matter scientifically, after all.
Ah, I nearly had him there. You did not. There he goes. It's undulating. That must be tiring. The kinesis clearly took place, because there's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from. Eh? Babaloo? The Babaloo? The Babaloo? Nope. Not the answer. Well, I'm down to one peg. I get the feeling I'm gonna get. Oh, I should press this actually first. What do you mean?
Well, before the demonstration began, the victim was alive on stage in front of the audience.
Yes, there were lots of witnesses who saw Mr. Asman on the experimentation stage. That's true.
And the victim's neck broke as a result of an impact following a fall. Logically, therefore, the victim must have fallen from somewhere.
Oh, wait, what? Hold up. The balloon that exploded was at an altitude of 60 feet. The point of impact on the tower was 30 feet up. Wait, the balloon that exploded was at altitude of 60 and the point of impact was 30 feet up. That difference of 30 feet is therefore the total distance the birdcage fell.
And there's no other location from which the cage could have fallen that distance if it didn't drop out of the sky. Ergo,
oh, wait.
the victim himself must have been beamed from the stage into the sky above the crystal tower.
A trenchant scientific analysis.
Oh, are we supposed to... Dear me, every time I hear explained, it sounds increasingly plausible.
Oh yes. It's all very well thought out.
Certainly all the spectators on the day saw it. The birdcage plummeting 30 feet through the air. I mean, irritatingly, yes.
Oh, wait, it's supposed to be the hole, right? Maybe? I think... Where's that sentence? Here. It's the hole, right? Nope. Well, game over. Okay, we're back here, so... Now what? So it wasn't the hole, or it wasn't this picture of the hole. Do I present do this? Yes, it is. Nice. This is a diagram of the experimentation stage and its surroundings. Yeah. Oh. We know that somehow the birdcage appeared in mid-air before falling down into Crystal Tower. Ow. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters. However, if you examine the diagram carefully, you'll see that there is one other possible location from which the birdcage could have fallen. The same distance of 30 feet. No. Well, okay, so here's something I don't understand. If something fell from the tower, if something fell from the stage onto the ground, as we're about to theorize here, how did nobody notice it? It's a hollow base, isn't it? Well, it appears that the French has a possible explanation to put forward. Go ahead, counsel. And then what's the explanation as to how they got the body up there, then? Yes. Yes, my lord. Of course.
You only get the place to which you are referring, on the same diagram. The alternative location where the birdcage could have possibly fallen were close to 30 feet.
It must be here. But, like, would nobody see this? Unless this base isn't hollow and it's actually covered. But even if it's covered, how did they get the body over fucking here? When would they have switched it? The corner. If it had fallen from here, the birdcage would have plummeted at the same 30-foot distance. Oh no, was I wrong?
If that's my learned friend's claim, I suggest he demonstrates for the court. Personally.
Huh? I was wrong.
Serves a parting gift, counsel.
Oh shit, I was wrong. Ugh, I feel I've just hit the deck from 30 feet up anyway. What? I was wrong.
Don't give me a recourse to make the next fall from 30 feet up. You will indicate the place to which you are referring on the same diagram.
Huh? The alternate location from which the birdcage could have possibly fallen the requisite 30 feet. Am I misunderstanding it? The hole is here, right? This would be where the birdcage sits? And then the hole is here. It can't be anywhere else from this balloon here. What's 30 feet? This is 30 feet, right? So huh? What did I do wrong? Do I do it from here? The place I'm referring to is here. Oh, come on.
But that's where the birdcage would have been to begin with.
God damn it. Why couldn't it count? Which is exactly my point, my lord. Yes, the birdcage was in the machine on the stage. But what we must also consider is the height of the stage itself.
Go on, counsel.
It turns out that the experimentation stage was built at a considerable height above ground level. If you look at the diagram, in fact, you'll see that it's about the same height above ground as the balloon was above the crash site. When the experiment got underway, the machine and the birdcage were engulfed in steam. At that moment, the floor of the stage gave way, and if we assumed there was to be a void underneath, this birdcage, and the one seen by the audience, would have fallen almost exactly the same distance. So even if you can't see it, you would have been able to hear it. Is it that there was steam covering it? You would have been able to hear a loud thud, no? Someone must have been standing near the stage. Once again, my lord, this all points to the fact that there was not one birdcage, but two. Also, the Hairbrain was up there, wasn't he? Even if there was steam or like smoke, he would be able to see something that large fall through, no? Fuck if I know.
My lord and friend has no evidence that the stage had such a contrivance in its design.
Someone is responsible for the criminal destruction of the kinesis machine itself, it's true. However, the stage still stands. And take a moment to look at the photographic print of the scene following yesterday's explosion.
Good lord, the metal girl that formed the floor of the machine is undone.
Yes, most likely blown up by the force of the explosion that destroyed the rest of the machine. The defense calls for the space below the stage to be investigated immediately. Why would nobody think to do that if they see a large gaping hole at the site where something exploded? Things would have fallen down there, no? I don't fucking know. Mr. Drebber. It was you who built the kinesis machine, which means that it was you who built the 2 bird cages that were used to carry out this deception. Whether Professor Harebrain's hypothesis is sound or not makes no difference, because it's the construction of this machine that matters. A machine designed to take Mr. Asman's life and lay the blame firmly at the professor's door. Something that could only have been carried out by you, Mr. Herlock Drebber. Oh, he mad. Oh, he mad. What sword are you holding? You're cheating on Kurama. Kurama? What's your name of your sword again? If my learned friend has reached the high end of his wild assertions. You don't even fucking drink the goddamn thing. The prosecution would like to crush the defense's argument slowly, but surely. If you're about to tell me to explain how his body got from the base of the stage to the tower, I don't fucking know. I don't know magic. I hate magic. I don't hate magic. I just don't know how to explain magic. Your argument fails to hold water. On 2 counts. 2? Firstly, before and after the experiment, this witness went nowhere near the kinesis machine. Every relevant member of staff from the exhibition has attested to that.
And I believe members of Scotland Yard have also been on watch duty at every public experiment.
In other words, Mr. Drebber had no opportunity to switch the alleged pair of bird cages. But I've already explained why he wouldn't have needed to. The nonsense with the crossbow, that doesn't bolster your case at all. The man who disappeared from the stage and the man who crashed into the tower are one and the same. The forensic investigation team's report is unequivocal on that point. And the second flaw in your assertion is a distinct lack of motive. Why would this man have wanted to take the victim's life? He had no reason to do so. A motive? Do I have to think of everything myself? I have here a contract provided by the witness.
What contract is this, Lord Van Zeeks?
The contract into which Mr. Drebber entered with the victim, Mr. Asman. It reads, Mr. Drebber is to receive 30% of all what? What's that word? Of all remunerations from government grants or other income.
40%. Certainly very favorable contractual conditions.
But there was one very important provision bolted onto that clause.
What provision? Mr. Drebber may only uphold this right on condition that both contracting parties are alive.
In other words, if either of us were to die, the contract would become null and void. So you see, I had nothing to gain from Mr. Asman's death. The diametric opposite, in fact.
Ugh. Need I say more? The witness had neither an opportunity nor a reason to commit the alleged crime. Unless he's still alive and coroner fucking faked this fucking thing. This is a wax body, isn't it? I don't know. Would she go so far to fake it? Ah, God, I'm still so sus of that woman. She is so sus. God damn it, I can't trust nobody except for the Zeeks. In short, the possibility of Mr. Drebber having done as you suggest is nil. Ah! Oh, I just realized that the guy, Drebber from the back, he looks like that one guy from, God, to kill Hitman Reborn. Remember that? That was a thing a long time ago that probably everyone's forgotten by now.
It seems the defense's assertion was somewhat wide on the mark. Lord Van Zeeks, you will submit the contract as evidence, please.
Oh, you head down. Before we... The investor, Mr. Odie Asman, hereby enters into contract with the provider, Mr. Anak Drebber, to fund labor and materials for the construction of a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. Drebber is to receive 30% of all remunerations from government grants. Mr. Drebber only hold the condition that both contract parties are alive. Suspicious. Okay. It's true. If Drebber had no opportunity to switch the birdcage under the stage with the one in the Crystal Tower, he couldn't have done it. And in any case, I have no idea what his motive might have been. There is one aspect of your argument that still holds true, however. There were 2 birdcages. The prosecution is unable to deny that. So I'm sure you're on the right lines, Mr. Naruhodo. And I've no doubt there are other aspects of your assertion that are undeniable truths too. Yeah, you go, girl. You go, Susato. Cheer me up.
Well, it would seem that the defense has no rejoinder to offer.
That's a word. Have we done a summation examination yet in this trial?
Well, I must say I'm a little surprised. I came here to testify about the machine I built, and instead, my reputation is defiled.
I hate it when they do this, when the suspects always do this. Like, they're starting to sweat thinking that they're fucked, and then something happens, and they're like, haha, I am no longer fucked. Therefore, it's like, I came out here to have a good time, and I feel so personally attacked now, even though I am a killer. Fuck off.
But the prosecution's counter has set the record straight, I think. It's impossible that I am the culprit.
Oh, for a second I thought Cosmo wasn't there. I was like, where did he go? He was there. At the beginning of this trial, we believed that there was only 1 birdcage. Yet now we know there must have been 2. In other words, there was more to the demonstration than we realized at first. I think it's abundantly clear that the same applies to the culprit. Oh my god, there's 2 of him! Get to the point. The stage demonstration was constructed and set up in its entirety by you, Mr. Drebber. Therefore, it's inconceivable that you had no hand in the events that transpired. Oh, he mad. Oh, he mad. He firmly mad. So if circumstances means it's impossible that you could have carried out the crime yourself, it points to the fact that someone else was involved.
Someone else? Counsel, are you suggesting?
Yes, my lord. Mr. Drebber had an accomplice. An accomplice now.
Well then, I presume you're prepared for what's to come. Now that you're accusing not only this witness, but someone else of the most serious of crimes. If these accusations turn out to be false, then make no mistake. The prosecution will demand an equally serious punishment for your slander. Well, counsel, do you intend to pursue this course and formally accuse another party of involvement in this matter?
Ryunosuke is so confident about it. I guess we have to. I don't even know who he's talking about. What do I do here? I don't know! You're the one who brought it up! At the moment, this is little more than a hunch on my part. I don't know for sure if Drebber had an accomplice, or even if he really is the culprit here. One way or another, though, I have to make my position clear, as a lawyer. So what's my stance going to be? Sorry. Did Drebber have an accomplice or not? I mean, you're the one who brought it up fucking unannounced. I had no part in this. So if you're saying it, then I have to believe you, because I love you. I love you like you were my son. The defense is ready to name Mr. Drebber's accomplice. I am? Uh-oh. I am? Somehow the 2 bird cages must have been switched. Everything points to that. Oh, wait. Wait. The first team investigation. The birdcage wasn't there because it was taken away by forensics to examine and then brought back the next day. That coroner girl! Yet according to the coroner's report, that's not a possibility. The coroner girl, she's sus as hell! But that inconsistency itself is a clue. What did he just say? The two birdcages must have been switched, everything points to that. Yet according to the coroner, that's not a possibility. There we go, there was the hint. My lord?
You have received a stark warning already. If you are nevertheless determined, then I must now ask you to identify this alleged accomplice by name.
I got you, fam. We got this. We got this. I got you. I figured it out right before you gave the hint.
So your answer, please. What do you claim to have been Mr. Drebber's accomplice?
Let's fucking go, the sussy bitch. Let's go. The name of the person in question is...
What's wrong, my Nipponese friend? Surely fear doesn't bind your tongue now. It's a little late for that.
What? Huh? What? Am I wrong? Of course I'm afraid. After all, naming her in this capacity is definitely going to make waves. A lot of waves. I could very well turn every single person in this courtroom against me. Not Susato. I'm sure it'll be alright, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you, Mrs. Sato. Yeah, she'll never betray... What? She'll never take another side, or whatever. The enemy always appears larger than life, but you'll appear exactly the same to the enemy. What? Was that supposed to be... okay. Alright then, here goes.
You've kept us waiting long enough. Your answer, counsel. Now.
Whoops, I skipped. The person who colluded with Mr. Drebber in order to carry out this wicked crime is Scotland Yard's coroner, Dr. Courtney Sith.
What the blazes are you talking about? Dr. Sith?
The head of the forensic investigation team and the coroner who conducted the autopsy on the victim. I ain't afraid, bitch. I'll call her out. She was always sussy from the fucking beginning. We know there were two bird cages, so who could have carried out the switch to complete the illusion? The accident happened in front of a huge crowd of spectators, and the area was immediately sealed off. And then everyone, police officers included, were banished to make way for the forensic investigation team. When else could the switch have occurred? It could only have been in that team's presence. It's essential that the court determines exactly what happened following the incident. The defense demands that Dr. Sith be summoned to the witness stand at once to testify. Magician's just like, And he's sleeping. Oh my god.
Oh, you got a nerve, lad! Standing up there, dragging the yard's name through the mud.
I didn't mean to.
I know the woman very well. There's no better dead worker out there.
Whatever his voice is.
How dare you call her a criminal?
Well, she ain't fucking exactly innocent. She clearly...
My learned friend's imagination appears to be wilder than the East End at night. But the recklessness of your accusation aside, there's another grave problem with your argument. One which the prosecution demands you address at once.
A grave problem? Oh my word!
Who do you claim acted as the victim's doppelganger?
Oh, what? Oh, you just completely threw a curveball there. What? I thought he was gonna say something regarding the fucking coroner.
Certainly. If the birdcage containing the body of the victim was exchanged for another, that cage must also have contained a body. And yet, no missing persons or accidental deaths of anyone even remotely resembling the victim has been reported. Which means there was no one, dead or alive, who could have fulfilled the role of a body double for Mr. Eisman.
That's true. If my argument is that there are two bird cages, then there must have also been one other person inside each. But I don't know if I've got an answer to this yet. Have I? Well, you kinda do. What can I do to reveal how those bodies Oh, damn, this is a trick. Oh, damn, this is fucking difficult. I don't know why I'm saving. As if, like, I can just... I've gotten game overs already. It's like I have the idea, right? It's a wax body. It's just... How do I present Is it do I name to spell, or do I present the head? Or do I do something else? Well, I'm gonna start with name someone and see how it goes from here. Very well. The defense will address my learned friend's concern by revealing the identity of the person who acted as Mr. Asman's body double. That wasn't what I had in mind. That wasn't what I had in mind. I don't think this is the right way.
Be my guest. Give us a name.
The body double and the birdcage were hiding inside the balloon that was floating above the stage, which means that any witnesses would have only seen them from 60 feet away. So who was it that appeared out of that explosion, some 18 meters above the spectators? Aha! In place of Mr. Asman, the second birdcage was... How do I even... I don't know how to present this? This can't be right. This must be wrong. The boy! Because his head is broken. Broken. It must have been her. She did it. It must have been, it must have been... I don't know. Whatever. I'm gonna do this, and it's probably gonna be wrong. This person is the most likely candidate I can think of. Wouldn't you agree? It's so embarrassing. Ah! Oh no, she turned her back on us. You have a head. Try using it. Hey, is that a hint? I'm doing it. Okay. Okay. Okay, they give me a chance to do it. Okay. He gave me a good hint. There we go. Very well. The defense will address my learned friend's concerns by presenting evidence that reveals the true nature of Mr. Asman's body double.
Good gracious. Evidence. I do hope this isn't filibustering, counsel. The court is expecting a name.
A name?
If you think you have relevant evidence, present it now.
The body double and the birdcage were hiding inside the balloon that was floating above the stage, which means that any witnesses would only have seen them from 60 feet away. So who was it that appeared out of that explosion some 18 meters above the spectators? Blah blah. Aha. Yeah. You know, here's the thing. The body double inside the second birdcage was, We know that the victim, Mr. Asman, was in the birdcage that was situated inside the kinesis machine on stage. And therefore, he couldn't have been inside the second birdcage. Instead, that contained something else. What's been described as a body double, which is what fell from the sky and crashed into the crystal tower.
Yes, counsel. According to your somewhat elaborate version of events.
And that body double inside the second birdcage was in fact...
Why do you go wide-eye?
It's alright, Mr. Naruhodo. You're ready for this. To steal yourself and come out with it. Thank you, Mrs. Sato. I needed that. As I was saying, the body double inside the second birdcage was, as unbelievable as it may seem, that thing there? Why is he here? Why is he in here? Who brought him in here? Was it Holmes? Did he bring it in here? Where did he come from?
Open your eyes and look into mine, Mr. Mighty Pony's friend.
He just had his eyes closed.
Now tell me, what are you playing at?
Stand firm now, Ryunosuke. This is the time to show your Japanese spirit. As the court will observe, this is a waxwork model. Oh, barely. A model, in fact, of an infamous London murderer from 10 years ago, the Professor.
You started by indicting the leader of the forensic investigation team as an accomplice in this crime. And now you've moved on to indicting waxworks?
Yes, that's about the size of it.
But why? And why this waxwork? It looks nothing like the victim. In fact, it could hardly resemble him less. What possible justification can you give?
If you want to know why, ask Mr. Drebber. Oh, he sweat!
What?
Just days before Professor Harebrain performed his public demonstration, Mr. Trevor abducted this model from Madame Tuspel's.
Did you say abducted?
And 2 days after the incident at the Great Exhibition, he returned it to the museum.
And then, the timing. Is this true, Mr. Rubber?
Wasn't this brought up in the beginning of this trial about him? About how he was responsible for another crime, and that it was about the stealing of the waxwork model or whatever? Why are they acting like they didn't hear about this? At first, I couldn't see why Mr. Drebber would have stolen the waxwork and then given it back again. But now, the reason is clear. He took it so that he could put it inside the second birdcage, as a body double for Mr. Asman. That hurt my throat.